Hello, hello, hello. I believe we should be live. Activate the camera. Gotta move that. Sorry, I'm setting one last thing up. I forgot to activate my camera over here on OBS. So, if you check the description of the video, and if you, saw the title, as well as, etc., you would... Let me just do something. That's not the right person. Alright, there we go. Okay. I'm currently live streaming, specifically because, well, the main reason why we're live streaming today is because this is an assignment for my college, F.I.R.S.T. Institute. Let me transition over to the game. We're going to be playing the Stanley Parable for the assignment. And you guys are going to be over here this time. Whoa, crazy. Different camera angle. Oh my god. Everything should be functional. Looks like it is now. If you see at the bottom left hand corner of my screen, you can see a graphic that was made. That was made in DaVinci. I know it sucks. I made it myself. So yeah, no. We're gonna wait a couple more minutes, see if anyone joins, and then we're gonna hop right into it. How's everybody doing? How y'all doing, chat? You doing okay? You doing swell? You doing fine? I hope you are. You better be. Grab some chips, something to drink. Better hydrate. I know. I forgot to. What we're shooting for primarily is, project-wise, we're shooting for like 5 minutes of live stream. However, I usually don't just go 5 minutes. Y'all know me. Y'all know me. I don't go 5 minutes for a live stream and then end it there. What are y'all, crazy? What do you think what? Who do I'm not gonna cheap y'all out on that. No. We're gonna try going for an hour. I know that's not what I need to do, but it's what I'm going to do. Because at least an hour or a half an hour. At least one of those two. But let's get into it. We are gonna set the time. It's currently also face cam, part of the assignment. It is currently 10:50 because once I get over to 50, yep, it is just now turned to 10:50. There we go. Oh, I forgot I was supposed. Okay. By the way, I had just opened the game. This is me just opening the game. Oh god. Okay, so next time we boot up the game, I'm gonna have more sliders. That's gonna be interesting. I forgot we left off last time on learning about the Stanley Parable 2. This is creepy as hell.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
1 second.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
Just a
No
I guess a
one had showed up to
refresher
give him
on
instructions,
what the
call a
introduction
meeting,
was.
or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable
Hopefully
to
y'all
move
can
for
hear
the
it.
longest time.
Hopefully y'all can hear
But as he
me
came
over
to
it.
his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
What if I don't step out of my office? What if I don't want to? What if I want to close the door with me?
Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley,
I actually haven't tried closing the door.
Days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure beyond
clock
any doubt
barely has
was that
moved.
if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
But what? What? What was the point of that? Bro.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility?
Wait.
He had never been
No.
trained for that.
No, I wanna.
This couldn't go
Let me
anywhere
out.
except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever.
I forgot
I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by?
The clock
No longer
barely
had the ability to
moved.
tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do.
Why
Now
does
it's
the
just a
clicking
little
button
bit closer.
occur everywhere
Now
else
it's even closer.
but here?
Here it comes.
Okay, we're not gonna close the door again because it evidently does the same thing over and over again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright. Oh my god, it's the bucket.
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it?
We're not going to do that. This is where the extra content was. We'll hopefully get to see that
When
again.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We haven't tried actually listening to the narrator. Like fully
Yet
just
there was not
listening
a
now.
single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided
Talk
to go up
less.
to his boss's
Don't
office, hoping
unbelievably.
he might find an answer there.
I was trying to read that. Okay. The broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
The broom closet ending.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
This is a great excuse to look
It
at.
was baffling that Stanley was still
OBS.
just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet F.A.
Sweet F.A. Okay.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yes.
Standing around doing nothing?
Yes.
Why?
Because I
Please offer
can.
me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Because I can. What's to be confused about?
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd
Yes,
said
I know
Stanley walked
exactly.
past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Cool.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe
You're
when you
talking,
talk
so
about
I'm
this with
assuming
your
there's a
friends,
point to
you'll
this.
say, "Oh, did you get the broom,
Broom
closet
closet
ending?
ending.
The
That
broom closet ending was
my
my
favorite."
favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
I'm gonna get the broom closet ending, guys. I'm gonna get the broom closet
Stanley was
ending.
fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
Oh, come
He
on.
probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
What did I do? All I'm doing is standing in the broom closet.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed.
That is a
unconscious.
wild
Well, in
observation.
a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose.
Oh.
Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead.
Oh, yes, I'm totally dead.
Any number
Bleh.
of your company's
Bleh.
human physiological
Bleh.
vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their
I'm dead.
corpse from the
I'm
area
dead, guys.
and instruct another
It's evidently.
human to take
I'm
their
evidently
place,
dead.
making sure they understand basic first-person video game, filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right. When you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Okay.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to.
Monkey?
Fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Okay. Let's just go. Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I don't think I've ever walked down the stairs. I'm gonna walk down the stairs. You know what? Never mind. I'm not walking down the stairs. Big red light. New. Alright. What's going on here?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct
I totally
code
pushed
by
very
sheer
random
luck.
buttons.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Ooh!
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Okay.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This
Maybe
question would not
because
go unanswered for long.
He's just now changing his routine. Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ah, okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Can I just, like... no, I can't. Okay, fine. I thought I could just jump off.
Now the monitors jumped to life. Their
Oh, that guy
true
got
nature
fired.
revealed.
Oh, that guy
Each
got
bore
fired
the
too.
number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals.
What happened to that
images on
guy?
the screen.
Why is it just a lamp?
One of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Employee 475. Why is that just a ladder? What is happening on these screens, bro? Okay, so that one's the fired one. That's another fired one over there. Oh.
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So, here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game, with secrets secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job.
Oh my god.
3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. And I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. But railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
Is it just gonna keep repeating that? Okay, cool. Okay. Remind me never to do that again.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Balloon.
What could it mean? Stanley
Get
decided
well
to go to a meeting.
someday.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I forgot about that. Figurine Finders Committee meeting today in the meeting room. Yo! Bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Bucket. Bucket. Bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door.
Bucket. 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 Oh my god! Oh my god! There will be a reward for finding them all. Stop kidding yourself. Lies. Who are you? 666 lol. There will be cleaning of this wall required. I want them so much. I want to go home. Lol. Looks like 427. 5 there be. Just take it from me. Gotta collect them all. Mission status. Inside of the sequel exhibit, a large room, lots of boxes. Stairs. Something to do with stairs. Some are both red and blue. A private but smelly place for an important person. Is this some kind of game? There must be a point to this. Warehouse access plan. We need more planks. Provide 1 plank to allow ease of access past fence. Construct bridge to allow collection of shiny float. Retrieve Chris's remains from warehouse floor. Construct new structurally sound bridge. Oh my god. There's so much lore here. Trust in the completionist instinct. Why wouldn't they just tell us something will happen? This investigation, this room, they feel pointless, to be honest. Weird spinning figurines. Oh my god, there's just so much stuff here. Maybe we are the collectibles. Shut up. Shut up. We're not collectibles. Shut up. Source of levitation. To whom it may concern, I managed to pick up sounds unusual to a regular office ambience or local audio sources using an array of... What is happening? What? Anyone have any leads on this? Wouldn't you like to know? Wouldn't you like to know, Tom? Wouldn't you like to know, John, or from Office 557? I don't know. I need to check that.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? Or
I like the
what
mini
about
stands.
Stanlerines? Yes,
Okay,
I think
that's
I like
good.
that.
I
Another
do like that.
Stanlerine
I do like
under
that.
your belt.
Stanley. I wish these were real. I'd definitely collect at least one of them. I'm not going that way. I'm not doing that again. I am not doing that again. Okay. I got in this elevator already, haven't I? It goes nowhere, if I remember correctly. We have to wait. Anyway, let me out.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again
Wasn't like-
stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now,
I don't.
in his darkest of hours, did the
I don't
bucket's
remember what the
warmth
number
and
was.
guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It
Certificate
would
of.
be with him, always. The
I
bucket
can't read that.
and
Okay.
he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
2845. I
But
was
Stanley guessed the
so
correct
wrong.
code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
The bucket was evidently guiding me. What's over here? Nothing. Okay.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket.
Yeah.
Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring
Okay, the
that in
bucket
this
is not
darkest
that
moment
cool.
of
Come
uncertainty,
on.
he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
It doesn't sound like everything's gonna be fine.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
The bucket can think. Okay.
The monitor
What if I
jumped to
jump?
life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office
oh.
was being videotaped, monitored like... But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall. Now, what to do next, Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here. A bit cold, perhaps.
Okay, this is new.
After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette.
Where are we
that was
getting this
useful
stuff?
for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply.
Oh my God, everything
Stanley
is
wasn't
wrecked.
usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was unconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on.
Mm-hmm.
The two of them waited for a very long time.
Mm. And it just starts over. Okay, cool.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries?
This is new.
Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
What is going... Oh. Just gonna... Why do they all say the end is never the end? What is happening? What is going on? Okay. That's a new one. Not gonna lie, that's a new one for me.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
We're going in the wrong door
Stanley
this time.
clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
I'm collecting this, Stanley.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think?
Hello!
What name better
Hello,
encapsulates
Alex.
the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small
Oh,
number in the
wait.
corner of your screen go up
Hi.
by one? Let
I
me
know you.
sign it. I'm sure it will come to me.
It's quiet? What? It's... The game's quiet for you? I've been running this entire time. It's quiet? You can barely hear it and your phone is full blast. Hold on. Let me turn this up a bit. There we go. Now it's at negative 17.2 decibels. Don't want to be breaking your speakers now.
Okay, this is day number 295.
How's
Tape
the audio
number.
now?
I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer
That's good.
euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling.
This is new, by the way. I've not seen this one before.
And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make
Oh, I forgot to
sense.
Oh, wait,
There's
so this is
no
done.
explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms.
Is
Why
a bucket
everything
some sort of
feels
parasite or something?
What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket.
Parasitic
But I
bucket.
have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get...
What is happening?
What's that? Who's there?
What is happening? When did this become a horror game? What? What just happened? What? Okay, hold on. What just happened? What do you mean, the creature? Oh, this is probably a great time to do this because I forgot to do it at the start of the stream, by the way. Shout out to F.I.R.S.T Institute, the school that I'm currently in for college that I'm doing this live stream for. Anyway. Oh, great. Great. The person that knows most about this game is not telling me anything, so I gotta do... Is there anything else I need to do to learn more about that creature? Or is that the only time I'm ever gonna get a semblance of information regarding that? Can you at least explain that? Okay, cool.
Who turned up the bumpscosity so high? I like bumpscosity as much as the next person, but 100 is quite a lot, wouldn't you say?
I forgot I turned up the bumpscosity. I forgot I put... I'm gonna leave that up there. Wait, no, wait. I'm gonna turn it up higher. I turned it up to 1,000.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
This hasn't unlocked again, by the way. I've been hoping to unlock
Stanley
that again.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go...
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Well, from here, it looks like the only way forward is down, since the lift won't be coming back. But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Okay. I missed a screen? Bro!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go
Why
to the
is there
meeting room.
no
Perhaps
screen
he
on
had
this
simply
desk?
missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
The bucket's still there. Hold on.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Hey. It does nothing. Okay, cool. What if I go back? Anything new? No, okay.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No! It's wrong.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
No. No, we're gonna go down. We're gonna go down. We're gonna see what's down
good,
here.
Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I
What?
knew you'd find this place eventually.
Bitch, I have not even met you yet!
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's
I
just
haven't-
sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a
I'm
sequel.
leaving.
They want more of their
I'm
favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen
Can I
before.
leave?
Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it.
Can I
Don't you want another story
I
involving the
leave?
Adventure Line? We could make the adventure line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
The adventure line. I
Now,
love the
this
adventure
is
line.
what the
I'm not
Stanley
gonna lie, I
Parable
love
is
the
all about.
adventure line.
Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now
Why
as it was
is
back
that
then.
one the
Let's do
one
it
you
for the
pull
fans,
up?
Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're
I
going
love
to
the
have to give
bucket
something
too
up.
Much. What? I'm sorry if I like the bucket a little too much, okay? The bucket's cool.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been
personality.
part of the cast all along. Don't you
yes.
agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
What if I don't? What
Now
if I,
listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets
I am
is
not
all it
going to
knows.
do it.
That
I
is
am
its
not
singular
gonna do it.
personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters?
won't
Well, you see,
sacrifice
if
the
you were to
bucket.
really explore the
I
Bucket
will
Destroyer,
not
you would see that its
sacrifice it.
desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with
I
complexity and
refuse.
nuance that it's really
I
like 10
refuse.
personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and crush.
Oh.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spell-binding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
I accidentally killed the Bucket Destroyer. Oops! Everything changed. I guess we elaborate and listen, I guess. What? What's happening? Did I break something? What?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
Uh-huh. That was a completely different line.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
Okay. Moving forward. This is still not open. That's where the new content is.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this no? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend.
I
So
think
he
I
threw
missed
himself
the
to his death,
platform.
that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
I think I might have missed the platform, just a tad.
My God, the bumpscosity in here is absolutely overwhelming. 1,000? You people have got to be
Wait,
nuts. How can you stand this much bumpscosity?
wait, can I turn it up again? Please tell me I can. Oh, but he didn't add any more numbers. 1,000 bumpscosity, yes. Well, I don't know what the bumpscosity does, but it's hilarious that he mentions it sometimes. I don't expect him to.
The good old
That's why it's
bucket.
so funny.
Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together.
You don't sound
Stanley
so thrilled.
clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
I refused.
No, stop. Look there on the wall, you see? There's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless... What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior
What?
up to this point. Which,
What?
if that's
What?
true, well, my goodness. I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the
I know
impact
what
of
the
the story
what
is
a bucket
dependent
is,
on
bro.
your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh God. Okay. What's happening? I can't see. That is the
Now then,
God.
I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What? What? How was I supposed to know that?
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual
It's
bucket.
still a bucket.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Let me go. Give it a sniff check. Hold on. Let me go. I can't get. I think it's a bucket, guys. I don't know. I think it's a bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Okay, cool.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
No!
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one.
Okay. What? Why?
Is this a bucket?
That's the same. It's also a tractor.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
What?
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
What? What do you mean it was a bucket? What? What? Yes, this is a bucket.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha. Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. Should be around here somewhere.
I swear to God, if you drop a piano on me. No. But there's no bucket there.
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
No! God!
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. Yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is?
This is the thing we
Am
have to
I
question
a
right
bucket?
now. What?
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
What does the bucket do to you? What?
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets.
What is happening?
Okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right, here we go.
What is happening? The bucket is closer.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfect. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the
We
place
must
to
explore
be.
every path. Where's
And
the
here it
bucket?
was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go good,
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way
We
to the
must
top.
explore
There's something up there I need you to
every
do.
Stanley did not question
Area
why or
with
how
the
this
bucket.
bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't
We're gonna
talk.
do
But
one
Stanley
more
chose not to think about this
ending,
obvious
and then
fact.
we're gonna
He was firmly convinced
end
that the
the
bucket
stream.
had spoken to him, and he
I've
unthinkingly
had
did whatever
enough
the
mental
bucket asked.
breakdowns today. Everything's a bucket.
In here,
Oh my
Said
God.
the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Dark room. What dark room? This room has light in it. Oh, that's not threatening looking at all.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket. This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him. The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Press Q to ignore anyone in your life except for me.
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
You believe I'm real? Go back home?
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Relive the same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
We're home to work to home to work to home.
Oh no. I'm having feelings. For the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
Okay, I think that's enough. Yeah, I think that was enough. That was well. We just thank you all for watching. Let me add a camera to this. Nah. Thank you all for watching. This has been an absolute emotional hurricane. I hope you all enjoyed this. Because I sure did not know what was going on at certain points. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all again in the next